The whistle blew, sharp as a gunshot, and the world cracked open right there on the 50-yard line. My coach, my mentor, my rock, grabbed the ref by the collar, his voice a venomous hiss. "You owe me this one, or that little secret of yours hits the papers tomorrow." I froze, cleats sinking into the turf, as the words hung like smoke from a dumpster fire, burning away every illusion I'd built my senior year around. Blood roared in my ears louder than the crowd's roar, but it was Anderson's eyes that pinned me wide, betrayed, flickering with the same storm raging in my chest. We'd whispered promises in the locker room shadows just hours before, his hand brushing mine like a lifeline, and now this? The game clock ticked down to 0, our undefeated season teetering on a lie, and I knew, if I didn't move, we'd all lose more than the championship. I shoved past the huddle, playbook clutched like a grenade, and screamed his name, "Coach Harlan!" my voice echoing off the steel bleachers like a declaration of war. That's when it hit me, the gut-punch truth. Love wasn't just the stolen glances with Anderson. It was this fire in my veins, the refusal to let one man's greed poison the only pure thing I'd ever fought for. They called me Bryce Harlan. No relation to the coach, thank God, though half the town figured we were kin from how he dragged me under his wing freshman year. Small-town Nebraska, where Friday nights under the lights were religion, and football was the scripture that kept the demons at bay. Eldridge High Hawks, we were the Golden Boys, 11-0 heading into state semis against Lincoln East. Coach Harlan built us into that machine, drills till dawn, pep talks that made you feel invincible. He was the father I never had, the one who saw potential in a scrawny kid dodging hay bales on his uncle's farm. But Anderson, he was the spark that turned the machine into something alive. Transferred in junior year from Omaha, all lean muscle and quiet fire, with eyes like the Platte River at twilight. Deep brown, pulling you under if you stared too long. He played wide receiver, ghosting past defenders like he was made of smoke. We clicked on the field first. My passes threading the needle, his hands snatching them from the air. Off it, that came slower, tentative, like sneaking sips from a hidden flask. It started in the weight room summer before senior year. The AC was busted, sweat pooling on the mats like we'd spilled our guts. I spotted him on bench presses, our fingers brushing as I loaded plates. "You got this, Anders?" I muttered, and he grinned up at me. Crooked, real, the kind that made my stomach flip like a bad snap count. Later, under the buzzing fluorescence, he lingered. "Bryce, you ever feel like you're playing a role? Like, the whole town script, but it don't fit?" His voice was low, laced with that city edge he hadn't shaken. I swallowed hard, heart hammering. I'd buried my own script deep. Nights staring at the ceiling, wondering why the girls at pep rallies made my skin crawl while locker room banter lit me up inside. Every damn day, I admitted, and just like that, the air shifted. We didn't kiss, not yet, but his shoulder against mine as we cooled down, that was confession enough. Fall hit like a blitz, practices blurring into a rhythm of grunts and green turf. We'd steal moments. A shared Gatorade in the film room, his knee bumping mine under the table. Walks home along the gravel roads, talking dreams bigger than cornfields. Him eyeing art school in Chicago, me nursing vague notions of coaching, escaping the echo of my old man's ghost. Dad bailed when I was 10, left Mom with a diner job and me with a chip on my shoulder the size of the Badlands. Football filled the hole, but Anderson, he made it whole. By October, those moments turned electric. After a win against Kearney, the team's bonfire raged on the riverbank, kegs flowing like the current. I hung back, nursing a solo cup, when he found me by the cottonwoods. Moonlight silvered his hair, and he stepped close. Too close for bros, not close enough for what I craved. "Bryce," he breathed, and then his lips were on mine, tentative, tasting of bonfire smoke and stolen courage. The world narrowed to that kiss. Soft, urgent. A promise sealed against the crackle of flames. We pulled back gasping, eyes locked. It's real, right?" he whispered, fear threading his voice like barbed wire. In Eldridge, being gay wasn't a flag you waved. It was a target you hid. But I nodded, fierce. Real as the dirt under our nails. We're in this, Anders. All the way. What I didn't know then, what no one did, was how deep the rot ran in our golden machine. Coach Harlan, with his buzzcut and bulldog jaw, had been our North Star. Widower, church deacon, the guy who'd fundraise for new helmets out of his own pocket. But pressure mounted as playoffs loomed. Boosters breathing down his neck, whispers of budget cuts if we choked. He started snapping. Late-night texts pulling me aside. Bryce, you're my QB1. Carry us, son. Make it count. I did. Spirals arcing like prayers, yards piling up. But cracks showed. Refs calling phantom penalties our way. Opponents griping about ghost calls. I chalked it up to home field magic. Until the scrimmage against Valley 2 weeks out. Post-game. In his office, door cracked. I overheard him on the phone. Yeah, it's set. $5,000 wired by kickoff. You flipped that call on the 2-point and we're square. My blood iced. Bribes? Our coach rigging the game? I confronted him the next dawn, pounding on his trailer door as frost bit the air. Coach, what the hell? Valley? That's. He yanked me inside. Whiskey on his breath at 6 a.m. Sit down, boy. His eyes were hollow, like he'd aged a decade. Football's a business, Bryce. Eldridge needs this win. School stays open, jobs hold. You think I want this? But one slip and it's all gone. He leaned in, voice cracking. You're like the son I lost in that wreck. Don't make me choose between you and the team. The son, Timmy, gone 5 years back in a drunk driver smash. I'd known the story, mourned it quiet. Guilt twisted like a knife. But cheating? That's not us. Us. He laughed, bitter. There is no us without victory. And Bryce, I know about you and that transfer kid. Anderson. Keep it locked down or it blows everything. My stomach dropped. How? Spies? Gut Instinct? Didn't matter. He had leverage now, a shadow over the one light in my life. I didn't tell Anderson. Not yet. Fear glued my lips. Fear of losing him, of the team fracturing, of Eldridge's small-minded fury turning on us. Instead, I doubled down. Extra throws at dawn. Film study till my eyes burned. Our romance bloomed in secrecy. Notes slipped into helmets. Miss your laugh. Hurried embraces in the equipment shed. His head on my chest as we whispered futures beyond the goalposts. Chicago, he'd say, tracing patterns on my skin. You and me, sketching plays by the lake. I'd pull him closer, believing it, even as Harlan's gaze bored into me at practice. A silent warning. State semis arrived like a thunderhead. November chill, stadium packed with 5,000 souls under sodium glow. Lincoln East, our rivals, hulking beasts from the city. Kickoff siren wailed, and we surged me threading passes, Anderson hauling in 80-yard bombs like they were dreams made flesh. Halftime, up 17-10. In the locker, Harlan's pep talk veered dark. This is it, Hawks. No merci. Whatever it takes. His eyes met mine, steel. I nodded, Bile rising. Third quarter, tied 20-20. The ref's whistle pierced. A holding call on their D-line. Bogus as a politician's promise. We scored, took lead. Then their QB fumbled clean. Ref called it incomplete. Crowd erupted in confusion, booze raining. Anderson shot me a look. What's going on? And I forced a shrug, heart splintering. Final drive, down by 3, 2 minutes left. Harlan signaled the audible. Slant to Anderson. But as I dropped back, their safety blitz clean. Sacked. Incomplete, another gift call, no flag. Overtime. In the huddle, Anderson grabbed my arm. Voice fierce. Bryce, this ain't right. The refs. Focus. I hissed, panic clawing. But Harlan pulled me aside. One more. The PI on their corner. We're golden. I stared, the playbook burning in my grip. The one with scribbled notes, circled plays that matched the calls. Betrayal hit like a blindside. Not just the game, but me. He'd groomed me, used my loyalty, my secret, to grease the wheels. Overtime, our possession. I faked the handoff, rolled out, and saw it. Their DB jamming Anderson at the line, hands all over. No call. We punted. Their turn. Deep ball, their WR shoved OB, flag. Pass interference. First and goal. Game over. That's when I snapped. As their kicker lined up, I bolted from the sideline. Playbook high. Screaming, "Stop! He's cheating!" The crowd hushed. A wave of confusion. I hit the field. Mic'd up from warm-ups, still hot. Voice booming over speakers. "Coach Harlan's paying refs. Check the book. It's all here." Pages fluttered like confetti. Evidence spilling. Dates, amounts, initials. Chaos erupted. Players froze. Refs huddled. Harlan charged me. Face purple. "You little traitor." After everything. His fist swung, but Anderson was there, tackling him low, clean form like a game winner. "Back off him," Anders roared, holding the line as security swarmed. Medics checked me, lights flashing, sirens wailing. ESPN drones hummed overhead, capturing it all. Harlan dragged off in cuffs, bellowing denials. Boosters in suits scattered like roaches. And Anderson? He knelt beside me on the turf, rain starting to patter, his hand finding mine in the glare. "You did it, Bryce. You chose us." The Hawks forfeited. State board ruled it clean, but the stain stuck. Eldridge reeled. Headlines screamed, "Small-town scandal." Protests at the diner. Mom fielding calls from reporters hiding in the azaleas. Harlan, indicted, trial pending, his trailered empire dust. Whispers flew. Grief twisted him after Timmy. Boosters pushed the bribes. A desperate bid to cling to glory. Me? Suspended, then cleared, hero or fool, depending on the barstool. But the real win. Coming out. Press conference 2 days later, Anderson at my side. "I'm gay," I said, voice steady as a spiral. "And in love with this guy. Football taught me fight. But love? That's the championship." Flashes popped. Questions barraged. But his squeeze grounded me. Eldridge grumbled. Pickups circling with slurs scrawled on windshields. But cracks formed. Rainbow flags in shop windows. A deacon's quiet nod at church. Winter thawed into spring. Anderson got into the Art Institute, scholarship for his sketches, half of me in motion. I stayed local, community college, coaching peewees on fair play. We drove to Chicago weekends, his hand on my thigh over the console, wind whipping through open windows. No spotlights, just us. Bonfires by Lake Michigan, talks of rings someday, a life unscripted. Harlan wrote once, from county lockup, apology scrawled shaky. "I broke what I built. Forgive an old fool. I burned it, ashes scattering on the river. Forgiveness? Maybe later, but understanding? Yeah. Grief chews men hollow. I wouldn't let it claim me." Nights, Anderson traces the scar from that sack. A faint line over my ribs. "You're my winner," he murmurs, lips brushing skin. And in the quiet, with crickets chirping Nebraska hymns, I believe it. The game's rigged sometimes, tables turned on a dime. But love? That's the play that sticks, the one that carries you home.